Hey everyone, Sathak this side. Before you get started with the video, I have a quick disclaimer for you guys. This video was actually shot on the day we published the 3 plus 2 video, but we had some problem in syncing the audio and the video. We fixed that later in the video. So 3 plus 2 is relatively a new concept and there is not much info out there about on these topics. But one thing that we know is that you'll be studying at both BITS Pilani and BITSOM. So we thought of making something for you guys, and we reached out to some seniors who studied from both BITS and BITSOM. And a big thanks to Nihant Bhaiya and Rutvik Bhaiya for agreeing to this interview. Uh, Nihant Bhaiya and also, if you're someone who is looking for help with the 2 plus 2 programs of BITS, we have made a product for you guys where we have BITS 2 plus 2 counseling along with IELTS and PT prep. Because in case of RMIT, in case you have less than 75%, you have to give the English proficiency exam. And if you are from state board, you will have to give the English proficiency exam. And in case of UB also, you have to give English proficiency exam. So we have made a course in which we are teaching for IELTS and PT along with the BITS 2 plus 2 counseling. You get 5 full length mock tests, section wise strategy videos, one-on-one speaking support, detailed approach videos for every section. Also, we have detailed interviews for CSP, RPI, and the students from who are currently studying at these programs, because these programs are relatively new. So yes, if you're someone who is confused about this whole 2 plus 2 thing, we have a particular product for this where we have BITS RMIT student review, BITS UB, BITS ISU student reviews, university documentation on each of the following specific university, covering the visa issues, covering the whole fee cost which will be there. This is different from the official brochure that BITS has released, because we have covered everything in very detail, as opposed to the BITS's brochure. We have live one-on-one sessions also where you can interact with me live one-on-one, and I'll be happy to solve your doubts. Again, if you're looking for IELTS plus BITS 2 plus 2, we have courses for that as well. We have included the PT study material along with this. We are also providing speaking support in all of these products. So please feel free to check this out. The link for the product is in the description below. Thank you, and get started with the video.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Bits to Bits. My name is Sarthak Tomar. I'm currently a second year student in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. Joining with me is Nishant Bhaiya and Rutvik Bhaiya. Nishant Bhaiya did his chemical engineering. He is the member of 2018 batch. He had a CGP of master CGP of 9.1. He did his intern at JPMC in investment banking and then worked as a chemical engineer. And I think he's now, he's now part of BITSOM. And we have Rutvik Bhaiya with us. He did his, again, in the same 2018 batch, he did his engineering. He was a dualite, so he did his engineering in MSc Physics plus Triple E. He had a CGPA of 8.2, did his internship at IBM and media, and all the great companies. He worked as a engineer, semiconductor engineer at Samsung also. So, that's pretty great to start with. So, right. Starting off with first question. भैया मैं मतलब एज एन एस्पिरेंट मेरे को जो डाउट आते हैं बिफोर ज्वाइनिंग बिट्सोम मैं वही डाउट आपसे पूछूंगा एंड प्लीज बी ट्राई टू एज फ्रैंक एज पॉसिबल आपको जो भी लगता है कि ये इसका आंसर हो सकता है प्लीज ट्राई टू आंसर दैट हाउ वुड यू कंपेयर द ओवरऑल कैंपस कल्चर डिफरेंस मतलब आपको क्या कल्चर डिफरेंसेस लगे बिटवीन बीपीजीसी एंड बिट्सोम
Okay, do you want to start?
हाँ हाँ
Yeah,
ऋतिक
yeah. Like the biggest thing I would say personally is I've interacted with more people here because of the batch being smaller. So that's one huge difference. ऊपर से the second thing is the courses anyway, the courses are such that it leads you to interact with people, which was not necessarily what I found during engineering. You are forced to do group projects, you're forced to do presentations. So that's one aspect of the culture at BITSOM that's strikingly different. And yeah, but other than that, when you talk about the curriculum, the kind of people, the kind of acads is pretty, the culture is pretty similar.
राइट निशान भैया
I think adding on to what Rutvik said, I completely agree with whatever he has said. One more striking difference that I observed was the culture here at BITSOM is more professionally aligned as
Hmm.
compared to the UG degrees that we were a part of. You are expected to be a little more accountable in terms of whatever decisions you are taking, whatever courses
Hmm.
you are going through, because you are not only taking part of your own acads, you'll be working in a study group. So you
राइट
have to make sure that you put your best foot forward.
Hmm.
राइट ओके I mean, having experienced the academic rigor at BITS, मैं कह सकता हूँ कि it's very tiring. But again, BITSOM में what is the scene? I mean, what is the academic scene at all?
I mean, so if you are aware, the degree is structured a little differently compared to other MBA degrees also. So it's not a semester system, it's a block system.
Okay.
So you do one course at a time. So for me personally, I find it much better. So it doesn't get too rigorous for a long period. Maybe it will get like rigorous for a week or so, then it will be pretty relaxed. So rigor, to I comparing with just comparing very specifically with triple E and dual degree, I think it's on the lower side, but still that's like a very high bar anyway to compare. But ठीक है, it's reasonable. It's reasonable rigor. It's not too high, too low. It's fine.
Right,
I
right.
think I would also agree with what Rutvik said. During our UG degrees, we used to cram a lot of studies towards the mid semester and the end semester exams. But that's not the case here. You have to put in consistent efforts throughout the year. I faced more difficulty during my third year because I was also doing the minor degree with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I would say same kind of rigor is required. You have to
Yeah.
be the only difference is that you have to be more consistent when it comes to BITSOM.
Yeah, and the way their evaluations are structured also in BITSOM, they mandate that you have to be consistent. So it's just by design. There are marks for participating in the class every day. There are marks for contributing every day. So by design, you are studying consistently. So it's not that difficult towards the end.
Okay, okay, right, I get it. मतलब because in bits it's like whenever midterms and comps are there, it's like full day आप
Oh,
लगे
yeah,
रहते
yeah.
हो, full day you are in the library. Again, मतलब
I think you
let's
get more freedom when it comes to a UG degree because you can also
Hmm.
try out different projects in
right,
whatever free time that you're getting. Let's say you're away from your midterms and end but
right,
that isn't what you would expect in BITSOM because you have to consistently put in those efforts.
Hmm.
right, right. Coming to the next question कि क्या बिट्सोम में जो प्लेसमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं आर दे बेटर अलाइंड विद इंडस्ट्री डिमांड्स देन बिट्स पिलानी अगेन यहाँ पे मैं एक रेडिट पोस्ट का स्क्रीनशॉट लगा दूंगा व्हिच क्लेम्ड दैट कि बिट्सोम का प्लेसमेंट रिपोर्ट इज सॉर्ट ऑफ स्कैम क्योंकि उसमें जो फिगर्स बताए गए हैं ऑफ एवरेज एंड मीडियन सैलरी दे वर इन्फ्लेटेड बट आई डिड सम ऑफ माय ओन रिसर्च एंड आई फाउंड आउट कि जो प्लेसमेंट रिपोर्ट ऑडिट करती है वो बी2 के एनालिटिक्स करती है एंड दिस इज द सेम फर्म दैट डज इट फॉर आईएम अहमदाबाद एंड सम अदर टॉप आईएम्स व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन
I mean, my take would be, see, placement scam to nahi hai, I wouldn't say that, but that being said, ठीक है, it's a reality that you won't get shortlisted for a lot of companies, which I personally faced as well. Uh,
it?
because especially people who come with a good work ex and especially people who come with a good academic pedigree, there's a certain expectation that they have with themselves कि ठीक है, I have big brands on my CV that
Right.
even I had till a point, but then you realize it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter if I have done software from a good company. It doesn't matter I have done electronics from BITSCOA. If the role demands knowledge in finance, they are not going to shortlist me. And I think that's where like it's thoda difficult to accept the reality because that's the first time you're facing a situation like that. And but that's again more a function of what work ex you come from, what companies you target. And it's a very different sphere compared to undergrad where if you notice, you can literally sit for any company, especially in BITSCO. You can be a chemical engineer, still apply for software companies. So I think
Right.
wahan pe it becomes a little dicey, but I wouldn't go so far as to say ki they have scammed the placement reports because it's pretty aligned with what's happening on campus.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I don't think it's a scam at all. I don't know who is coming up with these posts, but all the placement reports are audited, all the figures are audited, all individual figures are audited. And the
Right.
other thing is, as Rutvik rightly mentioned, companies every year come with a specific set of demands and skills that they're looking for. It's not as if the candidates are bad. It's as if they are looking for a very niche or a specific fit when it comes to the skills that the student has acquired or in terms of what work ex they have. So let's say even for a consulting company, even a lot of our batchmates have 999 profiles, but still the companies which come, they come with a very specific demand skill set in their mind, and that's how they shortlist the candidates. It does not mean that the other candidates with the 999 profile are not up to the mark, or they don't deserve the role, but it's just the hard reality that all the roles could not be open in these consulting firms,
Right.
and they will only shortlist those roles which require some specific skill.
Right, right, right. Also, like you, both of you come from tech background. What was your initial motivation to switch to MBA? Like आप लोगों ने college में सोच लिया था कि you are more inclined toward management and consulting, या फिर you figured it out later?
I mean, see, I come from like a year lesser work ex than Nishant, but I had interned with Samsung in the same capacity, same software role for about a year before joining. So I effectively worked in software for like 2 years, and after that, it sort of hit me ki maybe like I really don't want to be involved in software. But I could have transitioned into a PM role directly, but by that time, my profile had become so niche and research oriented. It was becoming difficult for me to make a big shift. I would have always been involved in a semiconductor industry. So it became imperative ki if I want to switch careers, MBA is like the next step for me. Yeah.
For me, also, it was somewhat of a similar line. I wanted to explore more opportunities in core chemical engineering. I had already worked in JP Morgan, so I got a taste of what investment banking and finance would look like for me. I just wanted to make sure that I would not regret completely throwing off my chemical engineering degree. So just wanted to get a taste of what it actually is, how a chemical engineer operates. And post that, uh, um, I made a very oriented approach, oriented decision when it comes to whether I should go for MBA or not. I also had plans to go for masters, but eventually I decided that MBA would be the right degree for me at this point.
Right, right. So, I mean, the basic purpose of me making this video was कि recently BITS ने अपने 3+2 programs announce करे हैं, जिसमें you'll be doing 3 years of BE plus 2 years of MBA. You'll not be
Hmm.
having PS1 and PS2, and you'll be directly going for the MBA placements. तो मतलब इसमें मुझे कुछ कुछ डाउट्स थे कि अगर मैं एज अ नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ तो मेरे पास वर्क एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होगा एज कम्पेयर टू अदर एमबीए ग्रेजुएट्स जो कि 2 और 3 वर्क एक्स के साथ आ रहे हैं, तो क्या मैं एकेडमिकली उनसे कम्पीट कर पाऊंगा या नहीं?
I feel
Academically,
academically it's actually a little irrelevant because we have
hmm.
had a lot of freshers in our batch also, and academically they are doing very well as compared to people with work ex. Uh, just a minor drawback could be the number of CV pointers that you have. So when you come with some sort of work ex, you have a lot of skill sets to present in your CV and specific work ex that you have. So I think not having that on your CV would be the only drawback. But apart from that, there is absolutely no difference in academic rigor of freshers as well as work ex people.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Academically, it's pretty simple, and the professors are good enough that it'll bring you up to speed pretty quickly. It's just as you said, the CV pointers could be an issue. You may not have a lot of stuff on your CV, and the other thing being, maybe because of having no work ex, companies may find a hard time shortlisting you because what skills will they look for if you have nothing as work ex or validation on your CV?
राइट राइट अगेन एक और इसी से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है कि जैसे मतलब इन इंजीनियरिंग दैट वी नो दैट पीपल लीव आईआईटीज फॉर लाइक बिट्स,
Hmm.
it's very general thing and it happens. But again, for MBA, BITSOM is like a very new B school, less than a decade of experience. And would you recommend someone? I mean, usually ये रहता है कि would you recommend someone to like do his BE first and then go for MBA at an IIM? Plus, what was your case of choosing BITSOM over any of these IIMs? And I mean, would you recommend them choosing this 5 year path so that it's easy for them?
See, actually, this 3+2 year program that you're mentioning, we were also not aware about this program a few days back before you
Okay.
actually mentioned it to us. So I feel it's a very nascent stage to say anything about the program because we ourselves aren't aware about it.
Right.
But as a general engineering male candidate, not from BITS Pilani or not from BITSOM, I would say that having WorkX really helped me because it helped me gain a perspective as to what I want to do in my career and what I should
Hmm.
not focus on. And it also gave me a launch pad towards preparing for these competitive exams.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, I wouldn't say it's very wise to compromise on however work you can get. Because not only will it give you some perspective on life, it will also make post MBA placements simpler if you decide to go for an MBA eventually. Then 3 plus 2, I'm still not very sure because then I was not aware that you won't be able to chance to do PS1, PS2. And those
Right.
are PS2 particularly is one of the strongest asset that BITS has. The kind of
Right.
companies, amount of companies, and the pretty decent PPO conversions within that set of companies also.
Right.
So I would say ki, yeah, better to get some sort of work to get some perspective in life. And what else? See, it's a little there also it gets a little dicey because there's a legacy to some of the bigger IIMs, and that
Right.
with that legacy comes like a ton of companies, which a new brand like BITS will take some time to reach, but I feel like it's reaching there much faster compared to other newer college cause of the Birla brand. But yeah, sure. At this stage also, you take your IIM ABCs, they have much richer legacy. It will take a while to get there.
Right. I mean, as far as I know that at BITS Pilani, like at the technical campuses, consulting firms do come for recruitment. But I mean, as you are doing your MBA, uh, how challenging is it to break into management roles and consulting roles just after BTech, and how simpler it is after an MBA?
Again, it depends on what the companies are looking for. My answer would circle back to the same thing because every year it is very random. We don't know what kind of roles these MBB firms are looking for or any consulting firm is looking for. They come with very specific roles in their mind, very specific skill sets in their mind, and uh, the general norm that we follow is have some spikes on your CV. Like
Hmm.
it's good to have a 999 profile. It's good to have co-curriculars and extracurriculars because that's the only thing that we know has worked in the past. Apart from that, whether they will look for a finance oriented CV or whether they will look for an operations oriented CV, we have no idea of that. Uh, and we get to know that only after the shortlists have come out. So yeah,
Yeah, and
it's really difficult to actually comment on whether WorkX will help or not. It really depends on what kind of CV that they're looking for. Do they want
uh,
someone with specific work X or do they want someone with agility and no work X so that they could actually mold them into the career profile that they want? So
but
it's
that being
completely random.
like that being said, also, if I'm not wrong, they don't select for the same like designation as they do in BE. So you get recruited at a higher designation post MBA, I think. But then again, that comes with a more rigorous recruitment process. The interviews that they'll conduct will be stricter. The shortlist criteria that will be they'll be utilizing will be much more stringent. Especially MBBs, as Nishan said, you can have the best spikes, the best profile. You can have 999, and then you can see the shortlist and be like, oh, I don't really understand what's happening. Yeah.
Right, right. Also, I mean, recently BITS ने अपने 2+2 programs भी launch करे. I don't know if you're aware about that. उसमें basically you're doing like 2 years of BE at BITS and 2 years at some international university. Basically, they're partnered with RMIT, University of Buffalo, and some Iowa State University. Recently, Centrale Super League के साथ भी करा in Paris. So, I mean, those programs are also really good. Again, मेरा question कुछ उसी से related है कि someone who's unsure of pursuing MBA, would you recommend him to go this path or that path?
तो उसमें क्या हो रहा है? Like उसमें भी are you compromising PS1 and 2?
No, no. उसमें आप PS1 compromise कर रहे हो, but PS2 की जगह you have something called capstone projects. So UC है।
Okay, capstone projects are like वहाँ वाला PS2.
हाँ
Yeah.
हाँ हाँ,
So you'll anyways end up getting industry exposure. So
industry
that's
sector.
Hmm.
not an issue. Uh, but how is it related to MBA?
आई मीन कि इसमें यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ क्वींसलैंड करके है जो नेक्स्ट ईयर से ऐड होने वाला है, इसमें भी सिमिलर 3+2 MBA ऑफर करने वाला है। सो इट्स लाइक 2 years of BE and 3 years of BE and 2 years of MBA.
I don't think I can comment anything on this right now because again, I'm not aware, like I don't have much information about these programs which are coming up. But
राइट
maybe with some information on the internet, we'll have
Hmm.
something to say about it.
राइट राइट।
Right.
अगेन मतलब मेरा मेन पॉइंट ये था क्योंकि इसका अभी तक ब्रोशर इन्होंने रिलीज करा नहीं है पूरे वेब पे।
Hmm.
तो वी वर ट्राइंग टू रीच आउट टू बिट्सोम के एलुमनाई की, ठीक है देखते हैं हाउ इज बिट्सोम एंड हाउ डज इट स्टार्ट विद अदर आईएम्स। तो
Hmm.
इसीलिए वैसे भैया इफ यू डोंट माइंड मी आस्किंग, आप लोग का मतलब बिट्सोम स्पेसिफिकली क्यों लिया ओवर आईएम्स?
Oh, अच्छा अरे मेरा तो like simple था. I had given the GRE because I wanted to go for a PhD. तो उसके बाद I was like ठीक है. I had applied to BITSOM. इतना I didn't think इतना before applying because the deadline was approaching. Might as well apply. उसके बाद then I got in. Then I had to take a call. Should I like go for it or not? Till that point, I hadn't applied for other colleges. And once I got the call, I started researching, reading about it. So it felt good. The school felt nice. I was like, ठीक है, can take this up. I did debate whether should I wait a year or try for IMs or ISBs for that matter. But then, there's this. I'd interact with a bunch of people and I'd come to a conclusion कि ठीक है, top IMs are a very distant thing, especially when you're a general engineering male. So that would have been a little difficult for me, which is what I felt. And when it comes to lower IIMs, I was reading a lot of reviews कि BITSOM is at par or better than lower IIMs. So I was like, ठीक है, might as well.
I was also in a similar boat only. I had applied for MS at Purdue and Berkeley. I had converted Purdue, I was waiting for Berkeley, and at that time I got Rutvik's call ki, hey, I've applied at BITSOM. You might as well give it a try. So I think I applied fourth round के last day पे, and I got a
Hmm.
call in a few days कि you have converted करके. So if you are in, you can pay the registration fees and everything. So after that, I also talked a lot with Rutvik, like what were his pros and cons when he decided to go for MBA at BITSOM. And I think most of the points were matching for both of us, since we have both done our bachelor's also from the same college. Uh, our career objectives are also aligning a little bit, so I decided to go for it. And the other thing, if we are comparing BITSOM with IMs, I would say IMs have some sort of a legacy with them, with the brand that they carry. BITSOM is also backed by the brand of BITS, and I would say we are in a much, much better place compared to other private MBA schools in India. Let's say if we are comparing it with ISB, where we are right now compared to ISB after its inception of 3 to 4 years, we are in a much, much better place. And we are only going to go onwards and upwards from here. So that's a very positive sign. And I think overall it was a very good decision for my end.
राइट राइट राइट। थैंक यू भैया, मतलब इतना ही था, मेरे क्वेश्चन इतने थे। बाकी इफ यू हैव सम एडवाइस फॉर एस्पिरेंट्स हु आर प्लानिंग टू जॉइन बिटसॉम, इज इट वर्थ इट? बेसिकली मुझे यही क्वेश्चन बहुत पूछा गया था। मैंने एक फॉर्म सर्कुलेट करा था, उसमें सबसे ज्यादा बार रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन यही था कि इज इट वर्थ इट, इज इट वर्थ स्पेंडिंग इतना ऑन लाइक गेटिंग एन एवरेज ऑफ 23?
देखो, see, here's the thing. To be very honest, it depends on what metric you're comparing it against. ठीक है? If it's a career switch, you have no other option. ठीक है, it's imperative that you'll go for an MBA. फिर it's just about evaluating the colleges. If your main concern is like ROI, then it becomes another thing. Then it's like ठीक है, then it can get a little dicey. How much of a return you want on your investment? Then it will become imperative that you get into select few top companies, which again is very uncertain. So it depends on the metric that you want to maximize on. But all in all, in terms of just educational experience and the kind of opportunities it provides, I would say it's a good bet.
Adding on to that, I think when we look at it from academics point of view, as well as the infrastructure that we are getting, it is
Hmm.
much better than other IIMs. The infrastructure is top notch. The education that we are getting is from some of the best professors around the world. So I think that is completely unmatched when it comes to IIMs. I think could be comparable with ISB as well because they are also outsourcing the teaching part to international professors. So yeah, teaching has been one of the most fruitful experiences here at BITSOM, and I really like the quality of education that we are getting. And on top of that, we also have the peer-to-peer learning, right?
Hmm.
One thing that I've observed at BITSOM is whatever resumes are being shortlisted, whatever profiles are being shortlisted here, all of them have some kind of spikes in their CVs, may it be co-curricular or extracurricular. So we have a very vast set of perspectives from different areas, different backgrounds, different work axes. So the peer-to-peer learning is really maximized.
Right, right, right. थैंक यू भैया, मेरे इतने क्वेश्चंस थे। थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। आप लोगों ने
Thank
टाइम
you.
निकाला इसके लिए, थैंक यू।
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having us.
Nice. Yeah. Nice
बाय
chat. Chalo. Bye. See you.
हाँ,
Bye.
बाय बाय, थैंक यू।